We have a supplementary. Honorable Governor for East Sepik.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Could the Prime Minister explain his definition, because he said that in order for East New Britain to be granted autonomy, they have to raise enough money to fund themselves. Now, what is the definition between autonomy and independence? And I want to preface it by asking the Prime Minister this. In Australia, the federal government grants, block grants down to all the states, and it allows the states to carry out all of their functions autonomously. So what the Prime Minister is suggesting for East New Britain is that if they raise all of their funds, then they will become autonomous. But I want to caution the Prime Minister. What he is suggesting is independence for East New Britain. Because if they are going to raise their own funds, they don't need the central government. So I would like to ask the Prime Minister to explain to the people of Papua New Guinea his understanding of full independence, as is the case demanded by the autonomous region of Bougainville, and the autonomy that all provinces, including East New Britain, are asking for, which is similar to what is practiced in Australia, the United States, China, all of the states in Europe, and elsewhere around the world, which is federal governments fund lower governments, and then there is autonomy in terms of functions. It is not a one-way street where the national government collects its own funds, and then provinces like East New Britain come along and you say, you raise your own money, and then we'll give you the functions. So could the Prime Minister explain to all of the governors in the House and our people what his definition of autonomy and independence are? Because as far as I can hear him responding to the good governor for East New Britain, he is suggesting independence for East New Britain.
Good point. The Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I want to rebut the supplementary question from the Governor of East Sepik. When you stand up with your ears shut, you misquote people. You misquote people. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I never said independence with autonomy for East New Britain. When you assume and make inferences, and when you come with a place in heart that is totally misplaced, then you make assumptions. There's no pointer to independence in my reply to this. Functional autonomy must be supported by revenue-raising measures in the province. And even the current organic law on provincial and local level government, my mind cannot recollect the section. There is a place in that law that allows for provinces to raise revenue. Hardly any provincial governors use those provisions to raise revenue 30 years on in our country.
You have a point of order. Governor Marape.
I want to help you. Section 105 of the the organic law on provincial and local level government state out clearly for the autonomy in finance, Unfortunately, the O'Neill government passed a bill to eliminate that. So there is no provisions there for financial autonomy. Thank you.
Honourable Governor, your point of order is not allowed Prime Minister to continue.
All right, but our very experienced Governor of Marape maybe is pointing to a correct vacuum in law. These are part of the entire overall overhaul we're doing in the provincial government systems. One principle and fact remain: this Pangu administration, at the eve of our nation's 50th, is not in the business of taking back power from provinces. Rather, we want to empower provinces. You governors have the security of tenureship. You must be empowered. But we want to package the functional autonomy conversation with the financial autonomy and economic autonomy and ability to raise revenue. Remember in 2019 when we arrived in government, we said the provinces must be economic centers. Right now, the only 2 economic or 3 economic provinces, NCD Marape, due to lay, the Marape economy. Mount Hagen is emerging in Western Highlands. And East New Britain, commendations to East New Britain, they overqualify. Through agriculture-based economy, East New Britain has diversified. And they have, right now in my view, East New Britain qualifies number one to move to the autonomy model we are looking at. That is to marry your ability to raise finance, to carry functions that you are running, and the functions that we fully transfer to this province. Simple as that. Nothing about independence. In fact, part of the process going forward next year will make it absolutely clear in our laws, and I ask all members to support, outside of Bougainville, the entire 21 province. You can talk autonomy, but you must not talk independence. But we find formulas that you raise revenue yourself. You'll ask him to make him work. You also find him money to raise him. Supporting one and work him, money a national government will have. Whether it's block grant or an express component or kina for kina, national government will still, through the equalization formula, make sure that the province does receive support. But whatever fund you raise, you're able to look after your people and your province as we all work towards a life beyond 50 years old. It's a major construct we're trying to do. All provinces are qualified to go through this, but we must have qualifiers, not everyone. In the Madras for autonomy, everyone becomes autonomy. Key qualifiers must remain. Chief amongst them is your ability to raise finance and systems of governance to make sure that you are functioning well and you are doing things in your own right, contributing to the progress of that part of our country. Thank you, Thomas.